Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It's your man, God of Dots, man. We are back. We are back live and in living color. Hope you are having a very good day. Hope you're having a very good week. It's hump day, man. Hump day. We're going to have to, we're going to get it in. Typically, this is the Thursday show. A little bit of housekeeping. Typically, it's the Thursday show, but, decided to get it out of the way. I should have did this early in the season, man, because it seems like every time I was starting the Thursday show around 8:30-ish, thinking, okay, I can miss like the first start of the game. The games ended up being really, really, really good. Depending, Thursday, I would say this about the NFL schedule, man. Thursday games, you ain't missed it a minute, man. You ain't missed it a minute. So switching it up, doing it on Wednesday. Make sure you guys tune in for the KBK show on Friday. I got some, I got a little material, got a little something to put together a show. How you doing, Eucalyptus? In my opinion, I see you super duper early as always. But Eucalyptus, matter of fact, let me check because I did reply. I did reply, but I ain't checked in a minute. Okay. Yeah, this you get a chance, just let me know. Yeah, make sure y'all guys tune in for the KBK show. Definitely on Friday. Got some interesting material to kind of go through. You know me, I like to mix in the sports with the social, and definitely have something that that may tickle your fancy and spark your interest. So make sure you tune in for that, most definitely. But let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. This is the preview for the upcoming week, and like you looking at the NFL schedule for this upcoming week, a lot of important games. When you look at the records of some of these teams that's going to be playing, some of the teams are going to be discussing tonight, some of these games, it may not jump out at you. It's like, oh, that's must-see TV. There's a couple of them that's must-see TV, but for a lot of them, it's not must-see TV unless that is your team. And playoffs, as we kind of wind down here towards the end of the season, playoff positioning, playoff is in the air, man. We're in the middle of December. By the middle of December, Christmas games coming up. Season is winding down. 4 games. I think it's 4 weeks left in the season. No, 3. 3 weeks left in the season. 3 or 4. 3 or 4 weeks left in the season. So teams are jockeying for playoff position. Some people trying to move up in the stands as far as the playoffs are concerned, and other people are trying to hold on to their spot. And we'll talk about that most definitely. But let's go ahead and kick it off. Talk about the Thursday game, big game tomorrow. In regards to the NFC West, this division currently being led by the Seattle Seahawks. But right behind them is the Rams, and then you have the 49ers. Now, this division, I said this coming into the last couple of weeks. I think this division is going to produce one playoff team, maybe produce 2, depending on how some of these other games kind of shake out. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But the Rams coming off a very big win over the Buffalo Bills in a shootout, taking on the road to a San Francisco team who looked good, but albeit you was playing against the Chicago Bears, but had Brock Purdy back in the fold. Great George Kittle had a very good game last time, and San Francisco, as much as we talked about how injuries have kind of decimated their season, this team has not lived up to the expectations, and injuries played a large part in that. I'm not going to put it all on injuries, but when you lose, starting running back for the most of the season, starting number 1 wide receiver, the best left tackle in football, you're one of the best defensive, like injuries have kind of decimated the 49ers season, but they found a way to kind of hold on, still with an outside shot to make the playoffs, still with an outside shot to win the division. Depends on how the teams ahead of them kind of finish out. But in this game, I think it's going to be a very good game. San Francisco Rams typically is a very good game. But I got Rams in this. I just have more confidence in Matthew Stafford and what this offense is able to do. And I think the defense will have a bounce back game against the 49ers, but you can't count the 49ers out. You can't count the 49ers out. Like, you got a team that is 7-6 playing against a team is 6-7, both teams fighting to not only remain relevant in the division race as we come down the stretch, but also dying to remain relevant in the NFC playoff race. But I'm gonna go Rams in this one just because I've liked what I've seen from the Rams. 49ers, you had a good game. Brock Purdy had a good game going against Chicago. Chicago is a team that is in transition on both sides of the ball. I'm not going to put too much stock in that win, but the Rams are taking care of business at home. We talked about this yesterday. Sean McVay making a big call, going forward on fourth down late into the fourth quarter. Is a team that is building confidence. I like the receiving group. Nakua has been looking real good since he's come back from injury. Cooper Kupp is still a top flight receiver, and Matthew Stafford to me has played a lot better ball. He's played a lot better ball for the most part than Brock Purdy. So I got Rams in this one. I think the Rams look at the opportunity when you have the Seahawks ahead of them just by a game. And you guys know how I feel about the Seahawks, and I've been, going back and forth with the Seahawks all years. It's hard to pick them. But I got Rams in this one. I think it's going to be a dogfight. Nonetheless, in this division, I think only one team survives. But I got Rams in this one for tomorrow. Looking forward to the rest of the schedule. Like I said, it's some games that are must-see TV, but it's a lot of important games when we're talking about playoffs. Probably the biggest game of the week is Philadelphia going. Excuse me, are they at Pittsburgh or let me check? I want to make sure I'm getting the home team. So Philadelphia is at home. Winners of 9 straight, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania, biggest game of the week in regards to playoff positioning. Philadelphia still with an outside chance. Still with an outside chance to lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC if Detroit falters down the stretch. And you have Pittsburgh on the other side, who's not going to be taking any games off, understanding that they still have a 2-game lead over Baltimore. Really, it's really 3 when you put add the tiebreakers because they do got the dub on them. But Pittsburgh understands, hey, we still have an outside shot. They have the Chiefs coming up a little bit later, so you still have an outside shot for themselves to end up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. So this is a big game. We talked about this yesterday. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, they quickly came out after reports talking about them having beef. Tomorrow, I wasn't, AJ Brown was pretty much doing all the talking. Jalen Hurts didn't really say much. AJ Brown came out. It's not like that. We straight, we good, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what you tell the media. But when you have your teammates coming out saying that you guys are beefing and it ain't like that, and it's not just some random guy on your team. This is a guy that's a team leader. I ain't buying it. We're gonna see what kind of game plan Philadelphia puts out there because you're going against one of the better defenses, one of the best defenses, in the NFL. Talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that gets after it not only against the pass but gets after it against the rush. Going to be a very challenging game to see if Saquon Barkley is able to kind of keep up the pace as he's kind of set, keep up the hot streak that he has going against, like I said, a very good, very, very, very good Pittsburgh defense. And if I would say this about Philadelphia, if Saquon can't get it going, with the issues that quote unquote they have spoke about themselves as far as the passing game, is Jalen Hurts going to be able to carry the load and take this team over the top? I'm not sure. I think it's more pressure on Philadelphia to win this game. One being at home. You want to keep the hot streak going. Winners of 9 straight. But like I said, a lot has been made in the news cycle about the beef between the quarterback and the wide receiver, and we're going to see. Is going to be a focus at the beginning of the game to get AJ Brown his touches, get him involved into the offense, and then go into the run game. We'll see. But Pittsburgh presents a lot of challenges on the defensive side of the ball to where I don't know about that. On the flip side, it's going to be a challenge for the Philadelphia defense. You're going against Russell Wilson, who's gotten progressively better week after week after week. Have Najee Harris back there leading the charge with the run game. This is a very methodical, very purposeful offense. When I say purposeful, this is the team that has the ability to take the deep shots, but it's more than fine with this working the underneath game, working the short game, doing that. And it's been successful. Like I said, Russell Wilson has gotten better each week since he's taken over the starting role from Justin Fields earlier this season. And Pittsburgh is no slouch. And then you got in-state pride. I'm pretty sure some of that be in the mix. I'm going Steelers in this one. Just for the simple fact I think they're going to be able to kind of slow down. You can't stop. I don't think you can stop Saquon Barkley. Too much of a talent. You may be able to kind of keep him to a 3-yard tier, 2-yard tier, but he's liable to bust out a 70-yard. But I think they're going to be able to contain Saquon, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts with that Pittsburgh pass rush, which excuse me, with TJ Watt coming off the edge, Highsmith, who recently returned back from injury on the other end. Pittsburgh gets after it. Now, they don't get after it just on the perimeter of the defense as far as the outside rush. You have Cam Hayward. I think he's got like 7 sacks this season, talking about a big defensive tackle for Pittsburgh. So this is a team that kind of gets after it. It's Jalen Hurts. And we've seen what Jalen Hurts has looked like over the past 2 seasons. When you put pressure in his face, when you put the ball in his hands and force him have to make 30, listen, if Jalen Hurts is having to throw the ball 30 times or more this game, it's a bad look for Philly. I know it'll be a good look for AJ Brown because he feels like, hey, I get my targets, whatever. But I think Philadelphia, your recipe for success, 9 straight wins, has been when you put the ball in Saquon's hands. But we're gonna see if you're gonna be able to do it against Pittsburgh. I'm not picking you. I'm picking Steelers in this one. It's not because of Philadelphia hate at this point. Jerry Jones has beat all the hate out of me. I have none left for the season. I just call it like I see it. And I think Pittsburgh is playing, better. And I think they're in a better space without all the extra hoopla that comes with the Philadelphia Eagles this week. So I got Steelers in this one. Looking at the rest of the schedule, like I said, it's a must-see TV games. Another must-see TV game is you have Seattle at home taking on the Green Bay Packers. Packers still with an outside shot to win the division. Long shot, still with an outside shot to win the division. But Packers coming off a very tough loss last Thursday against the Detroit Lions and going on the road to play a Seahawks team that is, over the last 3 weeks has been playing very, very consistent. Geno Smith has looked good. The run game has looked good. The passing game has looked good. The defense, I would say, probably the most surprising thing about Seattle over the last month or so is how well this defense has kind of gotten after it and improved from week to week. But you're going against a Green Bay team that felt like, hey, man, if they'd have had another crack at the ball, they could have beat Detroit. And they're right to think like that because that was kind of a back and forth game. I think Green Bay's going to come in here with the mindset we want to get the bad taste out of our mouth, losing like we did on the last second field goal. And we're going to take it out on Seattle. I think they're going to be able to kind of get after Geno Smith. And Geno Smith, as like I said, over the past month or so, played some pretty clean football. Hasn't turned the ball over too much. Haven't made any crucial mistakes like he was doing early in the season when this team was kind of up and down. This team has kind of found a bit of consistency late in the season, and they have something to play for in Seattle. You do have a 1-game lead over the Rams. You don't want to fall back into a tie with a loss here and Rams win because you still have more division games left to play in the season. And you guys know how I feel about Seattle. I got Packers in this one clearly, but it's a lot of playoff implications in this one. Could see both of these teams in the playoffs. Hell, this could be a future playoff matchup if Seattle holds on to win the division. Packers may end up with that wild card spot where they have to go on the road to play a division winner. This could be a game we see later on down the road, but I got Packers in this. So I think the Packers are playing this a little bit better. Despite the loss to Detroit, playing a little bit better to me. I got Packers in this. So I think Jordan Love makes enough plays against this defense and gets the job done. But it's going to be a goodie. You got 2 teams that are playing pretty well coming down the season, damn near identical records. It's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. Speaking of good games, I know this is a game. We talk about must-see TV, and I said Packers and I said Eagles and Steelers is must-see TV. I don't know how the hell I missed this game as being must-see TV. You have the Buffalo Bills going on the road to play the Detroit Lions. You talk about playoff implications galore. Detroit coming in off a very tough win against the Green Bay Packers. Detroit has been my Super Bowl pick all year. You guys, if you're a follower of the show, you're a listener of the show, you know how I feel about how you doing, Dr. Nikki? You know how I feel about them Detroit Lions. I've been riding the bandwagon for the past 3 years, and they're finally paying off for me. But you got a Buffalo team that is coming off a very tough loss on the road. Defense got shredded out there playing LA. And they got something to prove. Currently sitting 2 games back of the number 1 seed in the AFC. Damn, I wish they'd won last week. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I just want to see Super Bowl run, playoff run, go through Buffalo just for the snow, but and all that. But hey, they lost. But anyway, Buffalo with a lot to play for still. They've locked up the division, still have an outside shot. If the Chiefs lose some games coming down the stretch, and the Chiefs are certainly capable of doing is considering they've been getting by week after week, by the grace of God and the refs. But you got a Detroit team that's coming in. Injuries are starting to pile up a little bit. Defense is starting to give up some big plays, and you saw that against the Packers on this past Thursday. Packers are a good team. Bills are a better team. I think the Bills are going to have some success. The question is Buffalo's defense. Can you slow down the Detroit Lions? And that's a question that hardly any team has been able to solve all year in regards to Detroit. Jared Goff has had a fantastic season, but it's been a very hard task for every team week to week to slow down this Detroit team because they're able to do it in so many ways as far as running the ball, short, intermediate, long, passing game, and they just attack you on so many levels with so many different players. And Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a head coaching job. And we'll talk about head coaching jobs a little bit later in the show. Give me just a second. I'm back. Had to get me a sip of that water. It's gonna be a goodie. It's gonna be a goodie. I ain't gonna be like to. I'm gonna be more tuned into the Steelers, Eagles, but this Lions, Bills. If you're watching that, ain't mad at you. I got Detroit simply being at home. I think Dan Campbell's gonna have them guys ready. Gonna have that defense a lot more prepared to handle a Josh Allen. And I would say this is concerning about the performance for Buffalo. Yes, you was able to put a lot of points up, but Josh Allen had to play Superman to kind of keep you into the game. Is he going to be able to do that on a week-to-week basis without making the crucial mistakes that he's known to make as far as turning the ball over? I don't know. This team has been successful when they've had a complimentary play from a lot of players and a complimentary play from the defense, but the defense didn't look too good. Didn't look too good against the Rams team. You talk about a team, you struggled against the Rams and their talent. I can only assume you're going to struggle against Detroit with the level of talent and the way Ben Johnson is calling the games. I got Detroit in this one. Looking at the rest of the schedule, like I said, it's some must-see TV games. I think I got the three biggest ones. But now let's talk about some of these games that have playoff implications. Implications. We're going to be looking at the Dolphins and Texans. Texans coming off a bye week. Dolphins coming off a very good come from behind win in overtime against the Jets. Dolphins currently sitting at 6-7 on the outside looking in of the AFC playoff race, but they're close enough and they're playing well enough since Tua has got back from injury to where they're in the conversation to where they could come back and sneak into the playoffs as the 7th seed. Then you have the Houston Texans on the other side. This team is look I wouldn't say bad this year, but I would say the Houston Texans currently sitting at 8-5 have not locked up the division. Colts still have an outside shot. We'll talk about them in just a second. But the Texans have not looked good this season, have not been playing consistently. CJ Stroud looked like he's kind of hit the sophomore wall. It's not playing at the level he was playing at in his rookie year. And you would think, second year he gets a little bit better, but this team is, it's just hard for them to kind of find their mojo. Started out hot this season, but they're like a middle of the road team. They play like it. This is the division that they should have locked up a long time ago, but you still in a dog fight with the Colts, who have a shot to still sneak into the playoffs as the division winner. I'm gonna go Dolphins in this one. Just for the simple fact I like the way that the Dolphins have been playing. The offense has been clicking since Tua has got back. This team is playing with a lot of confidence right now. The Texans coming off a bye. I'm not sure how confident they are. You always had a team coming off a bye. Sometimes they have a little bit of a rust. You don't want to have a rust against a Miami team that is able to put up points in bunches. But I got Dolphins in this one. I just feel more confident with the direction that the Dolphins have been playing, especially over the last month. And outside of the Texans, outside of whooping up on the Cowboys, who ain't done that this year, this team is not, has not looked like the team that a lot of people expected them to be coming into the season when we were talking about them, being looked at as one of the better teams in the AFC. It's just not happened. Has just not happened. So I got Dolphins in this one. I'm gonna take Dolphins. I think Dolphins get to 7-7, and It's going to be an interesting race. Coming down the stretch of the season. But I got Dolphins in this one. Speaking of the Colts, where's their game at? Colts at the Broncos. Had the Broncos, a team right there, firmly in the wild card race. Want to hold that momentum. Very good defense. Bo Nix has played well this season. As a starting quarterback for a rookie. But you got the Colts, who nobody's kind of talked about. Nobody's been kind of watching them. This is one of those teams that is kind of middle of the road. And they're currently sitting at 6-7, 2 games back of the Houston Texans. Anthony Richardson has not gotten better. I'm going to be honest with you. He has not gotten better as a passer. But I think the coaching staff is finding ways to kind of work around him, leaning into his physical gifts and understanding like, hey, trying to get him to be a more accurate passer at this point in the season. It's really not going to happen. That's something you're going to have to really work on in the off season. But let's lean into, the fact that he's a running quarterback. Lean into the run game, make smart plays, don't make big mistakes, and the defense is playing solid. And the Colts are just like an average, in a typical 16 game season. This is an average 8-8 type team that you see them play. But I think Anthony Richardson could give the Broncos defense some fits, who are also coming off a bye. But I got Broncos in this one. I think Broncos understand that, hey, you don't want to overlook the Colts. I know the Colts have a lot to play for. They're pretty much their only shot, in my opinion, is to make the playoffs, is to win the division. Still possible with the way Houston has played. But I like the direction. I like how the Broncos have looked. Especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I think they're going to be able to contain Anthony Richardson in that run game. I think Bo Nix is going to be able to find ways to make plays against this Colts defense. Colts defense is solid, not spectacular. They don't do anything particularly well. But they're just, this is like an 8-8 team. This is an average team. But I think the Broncos understand that, hey, their playoff spot is not secure. You have the Dolphins still coming, your playoff spot is not secure. 8-5 right now, 8-6, two losses in a row. You could be on the outside looking in. So I think the Broncos are going to come out here motivated at home, take care of business against the Colts. And like I said, some games are must-see TV this week, but it's a lot of playoff implications in these games. Speaking of playoff implications, the Washington Commanders coming off their bye week, playing the Saints. I ain't gonna spend too much time talking about this. The Saints will not be starting Derek Carr. I think I forgot the young man's last name Hayner. He will be starting quarterback, rumored to be the starting quarterback this week for the Saints. I think the Saints have kind of mailed in the rest of their season. I'm not sure what's going on there in New Orleans, but you have Jaden Daniels returning off a bye. I think he really needed to buy, kind of heal up on some of them injuries. He's kind of the little nicks and stuff he's kind of suffered throughout the season. I got Commanders in this one, just for the simple fact that the Saints are not going out there with their full complement of players. I think Washington understands that, hey, this is a big game for them to kind of get their mojo back, get back into the swing of things, and get back to playing winning type football. Like I said, Jaden Daniels needed the time off, and the young man has been nicked up. But I got them. It's a simple fact that the Saints ain't the Saints are capable of winning, but I ain't picking them. I'm sorry, I ain't picking them. Speaking of ain't picking them, Giants fans, don't worry. I'm not picking you against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, listen. For you Giants fans that like to listen to the show, Giants fans that like to follow the channel, listen. If the Giants win at home against the Baltimore Ravens, listen, I will change my avatar. Hell, I would even dedicate a part of my next show on Tuesday. If they're able to win against as how confident I feel in the Baltimore Ravens going in there being able to smash the Giants, the Giants somehow find a way to win this game. I would dedicate 5 minutes of the Tuesday show singing the praises of the Giants and giving them all giving them all the love in the world. I just don't see it happen. I think Baltimore understands that, hey, this is a team that you should be smashing, understanding that, your playoffs position ain't secure. You're still having to fight for your playoff position as a wild card. Still have an outside shot to possibly, catch Pittsburgh if they slip up, especially with some of the games that they have on remaining on their schedule. Baltimore. Listen, I ain't gonna spend too much time on that, man. Baltimore. They are either. What's going on, Spot? Listen. The Giants win that game, man. Listen, I'll change the avatar to the Giants logo. I'll give them 5 minutes of love, sing their praises, and all of that. Hell, um, it'll be a giant celebration if they're able to pull that off. But I don't see that happening. Speaking of not seeing that happen, you had the Browns taking on the Chiefs. And this is a very interesting game. Of course, you had the Chiefs sitting at 12-1, number one in the AFC. You have a Browns team that is 3-10, but this Browns team has played a lot better offensively since Jameis has gotten there. Jameis has had killer turnovers, but that is, kind of the caveat when you have Jameis Winston as your starter quarterback. He's able to make some spectacular throws and plays in the offense, but he's just as able to, this is the only player in NFL history to have 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in one season. I mean, that's just the story of Jameis Winston in his career. But you're playing against a Chiefs team that is week after week has found a way to play to the level of their competition. Am I predicting they upset in this one? I'm not. I wanted to, but I can't. I think the Chiefs hold on to win. And in this, we've been waiting for the Kansas City Chiefs offense to explode, be the Chiefs offense that we're used to seeing, and it's just not happening. And we're 13 games into the season already. It's not like Kansas City's going to flip the switch and start blowing teams out by 20 points. Final stretch of the season, it just ain't happening. I think this is, if they are able to repeat as Super Bowl champions, if they're able to three-peat, somebody on the defensive side of the ball needs to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. This defense has carried this team this far. I think they continue to carry them against a Cleveland team, like I said, is able to move the ball a lot better since Jameis has got in there. But Jameis, killer turnovers, man. Killer turn week after week after week, pick sixes, picks, and when they got a good drive going, I just don't feel no confidence in Jameis as far as being able to play a clean game of football. And that's kind of been the issue with him in his whole career. But that's who he is. That's who he is. But I got Chiefs on the road playing, taking care of business against Cleveland. But listen, if Cleveland was able to beat them, it wouldn't be a shock. I mean, because we've been talking about the Chiefs week to week, like it's they find a way to win. Albeit with some help, some luck. You can't call it anything but that, but they find a way week to week to pick up a win. Speaking of a team picking up a win, you got the 76 Buccaneers currently sitting at first place in the NFC South. Playing on the road against the Chargers team, another team that is currently in that jumbled up AFC wildcard race, need a win at home after losing last game on the road. But you have a Buccaneers team, Baker Mayfield, who's kind of got to go on. Mike Evans has returned back to the lineup, and this is a Buccaneers team that's able to kind of get it done. But it's a tough one for me. This is a tough one for me because I like the way Tampa Bay kind of, gets it going as far as on the offensive side of the ball. But you're talking about a Chargers team that had an opportunity to beat the Chiefs last week. You're talking about a Chargers team that's coached by Harbaugh, so it's going to play good sound football. And Justin Herbert has looked good this year. I don't think a lot of people have talked about it. I don't think a lot of people have kind of given him credit by how well of a season he's had, considering when you look at the assortment of weapons that he has or lack thereof on the outside. Ladd McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia, he's had a very good rookie season, but the other young wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, has had a case of the dropsies this year, but Justin Herbert has found a way to kind of get it done, make this offense competitive, keep this team in the game, and currently got them sitting at 85. But like I said, they got a lot to play for. They're sitting in that jumbled up AFC wild card race. I got Chargers in this one. Simple as being at home, going to get the bad taste out of that mouth, losing on that last second field goal. Tampa Bay, I think, needs a win. Because it's no safe space for them, because you got the Falcons currently sitting the game behind them. But I think Tampa Bay can afford to lose lose a game, considering that the Falcons are a team that is, currently heading in the opposite direction. Loses of 4 straight. Where the Falcons at on this schedule? Are they on the schedule this week? Yeah, Falcons, Raiders. Shit, that's again at this point. It's a toss up the way Kirk Cousins has been playing. I got Falcons in that one. Moving on with the rest of the schedule, you got Bears and Vikings. I got Vikings in that one. Looking at what else? Cardinals, Patriots. I got Cardinals in that one. Bengals, Titans. I got Bengals. There, I ain't gonna spend too much time on the game. The race for first, the race to the bottom. I guess you can call it Jets and Jaguars. I got Jets in that one. Yeah, I'm not too excited about that one. Another game I'm not excited about as we kind of close out the show here. You got Cowboys on the road against the Panthers. Panthers are currently listed according to Vegas books, currently listed as the favorite. Brother Sundays, what's going on, man? They're currently listed as a favorite against the Cowboys. Listen, I ain't mad at it. Carolina looked good last week, albeit in a loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys coming off a very tough loss. Listen, Jerry and the boys have sucked the life out of me. It's probably one of the hardest seasons to be a Cowboys fan, just because just this air, this funk that's been around this team. This air of I don't even know what to call it this season. I really can't put a word to it. It hasn't felt right. This almost felt like a lame duck type season. But yeah, the Panthers. I got Panthers in this one. Listen, I told you I'm not gonna pick the boys no more this year. Outside of the Giants game, I got Panthers in this one. I think Panthers are playing better, more consistently. I would say that again than the Cowboys. Bryce Young is starting to get it. The young man is building confidence, and they're looking good in Carolina. Defense is starting to play a lot better. I got Carolina in this one. As we kind of close out the show, we're going to say this. I wanted to bring this back around to head coaching. For those who are not aware, it's been reported by the ESPNs of the world that Bill Belichick has been hired as the new head coach at the University of North Carolina currently. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I mean, listen. Hey, listen. It's been that kind of a year for us, man. Listen, I just call it. I just call it like it is. Like, I ain't got no emotion. I ain't no, tough days on Monday after Cowboys lost. This season has felt like a wash, man. It's felt like a wash all year. But back to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's taking over the head coaching program at the University of North Carolina. Reportedly getting a 5-year deal. I don't, listen, it's not to say Bill Belichick can't coach. Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'm not sure at his age. I think Bill Belichick is 73 years old. I'm not sure he's really ready. I don't understand the motivation to go to the college level at this point. He's been reported he's spent time learning about transfer portal, and we'll talk about that. I got another story about that, about the transfer portal, NIL, and all of that. He's reportedly said if he's going to take over a program, be run like an NFL program, although not an NFL program, meaning he'll have stuff in place that you would normally see with an NFL team, as far as like how they're Listen, Dr. Nikki, I saw that interaction, and listen, I was laughing my ass off. I saw the interaction, and I was laughing my ass off. I said, this young man must don't know. He sometimes some people don't know how to read the room. Some people don't know how to this. And it was like, for me, it was like I had a left field, like, and it just kept going and going. What's going on, beautiful? It kept going and going. I was like, just this young man just don't understand where he at. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, but back to Bill Belichick. I don't. At his age, man, like, do you really want that? And I understand that, he's going to be bringing in some of his own guys, and but 73, dude. Like, I mean, I think North Carolina's paying him a pretty penny. I'm not sure how successful he's going to be at the University of North Carolina. I don't know. It's kind of will players want to go there? With the thought of if I can, you know, be a star on the Carolina team coached by Bill Belichick, was that improve my draft odds? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm curious to see what it looks like. I'm curious to see what it looks like, him taking over a program, and you're not talking. Well, I mean, you're talking to young men, but you're not talking to you got to talk to them a little bit different because you're talking to the college athletes. When you're talking to grown men, who's you're talking about, this is my livelihood, this is how I pay my bills. It's a different kind of conversation, but I think the NIL thing kind of works in his favor. I'm pretty sure North Carolina will get a boost from having Bill Belichick on the sidelines as far as the NIL. So that maybe that makes kind of bridges the gap a little bit as far as him and this new generation. I'm not sure his style of coach is going to translate to 17 and 18-year-old kids coming out of high school. I'm not sure, but I'm curious to see what it looks like. And I saw another story that kind of flew under the radar. And I thought this was interesting. And as much time as we spent on this channel talking about NIL and transfer portal and that kind of stuff, it's a story coming out about the University of Marshall, whose head coach just recently coached a team to the MAC championship, but is going to be moving on to the university. I want to say Southern Miss. He's going to be the new head coach of Southern Miss, and apparently this head coach has left such an impression. Such an impression on his players at the University of Marshall, that a lot of those players are, reportedly, and this is, according to media outlets, damn near the entire team is thinking of hitting the transfer portal and possibly following this coach to Southern Miss. I've never seen anything like it. But in the area of the transfer portal where it's no limit on how many players you can bring in, how many players you lose, it's no cap on that. Can you imagine? I didn't realize this was a thing. I knew players transferred, and some of them, a player here too followed coaches to their destinations. But I found out through researching this article that the head coach for the University of Indiana, who's currently in the college football playoffs, their head coach came from another school, and a lot of his players, much like some of the players that followed Deion to Colorado, but I'll be more players followed him to the University of Indiana, and that's how he was able to kind of turn that program around so suddenly. Listen, if Marshall, if this happens and you lose a large chunk of your players to the portal, because they want to follow this head coach and go somewhere where he's and I don't understand why you would let a guy like that go. You couldn't get a deal worked out, and he just coached your team to a MAC championship game and won. I don't understand how you don't get that done, Marshall. But if these guys follow him and he's able to have the kind of success that the head coach of Indiana, like, can you imagine how the transfer portal? We talked about the transfer portal being a tool in which the player was able to control their destiny, have more control over where they want to go, have more control over their branding. As far as I want to go to a place where I get more exposure, NIL money, et cetera, et cetera. But if this becomes a trend, where coaches are moving, and they're able to influence large chunk of the roster that they was coaching to come with them. You see a new Rule 4 coming? I don't know. I mean, it makes life exciting for college football, but I look at this as as much as we talk about the players having control and some power, I think on a separate type basis. This gives a little bit of power to head coaches, and not just head coaches. Offensive coordinators, defense coordinators, players gonna follow them. I mean, that's another tool of negotiating. Think about it, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. Listen, they're part of the recruiting process also. And you have some young men that'll go to a university. Just for the simple fact, I like the scheme that the offensive coordinator is running. I like the positions, the defense. I like his playbook. I like his style of play, and I think it fits my style. Like, I mean, that's another bargaining chip for a coach when it comes time to renegotiate or renew your contract. Like, hey, I was able to bring in, before you let me go and pursue my future endeavors. Listen, brother, we're gonna talk about that Friday. We're gonna talk about it. I'm not surprised about the money in baseball, but back to the coaching. But I mean, that's another bargaining chip for a coach, man. Like, hey, if you bring me into your university, with the influence that I got over, some of the guys, and they know I'm coming here, I can bring you. I mean, that is a strong bargaining chip. I help recruit, X amount of 4-star, 5-star players to this university that I'm leaving. As an offensive coordinator, you're gonna give me the head coaching job. I can get some of those guys to come with me. I mean, wow, that is. I'm curious to see how I'm gonna be following that one. I'm curious to see how many of those players actually go through with it. Actually go through with it. That is. Players like this is the new world order of college football, college sports period, where players are a certain control, and with the NIL money being there, now I don't feel pigeonholed to go to Alabama. I don't feel pigeonholed to go to a University of Florida. And we'll talk about that. Trust me, what I'm talking about now is tying to what are we going to be talking about on Friday, brother. So trust me, it'll tie into that. But I mean, I think this gives coaches, they're getting their piece of the pie now. Like, hey, we're not gonna get no NIL money, but hey, University of Florida, I can bring you some of those 4-star, 5-star recruits. That way you ain't wasting your NIL. Listen, it might be the brand new world, man. And when you look at the success that bringing over some transfer players, you look at the turnaround Colorado has had. You look at the turnaround Indiana has had. And those are just the two most notable programs. But a transfer portal has helped a lot of programs. Has helped a lot of programs turn around and pick up wins and all of that. And NIL money is a big part of that. But I mean, this is the world. This is the world we live in. I grow accustomed to it. I mean, I ain't mad. If the players say, "Man, I came here to play for this coach," and wherever he go, I go. I mean, more power to him. Oh man, but let me get my behind up out of here, man, because I don't ram my mouth a little bit too much. I don't know if she's still here. Eucalyptus. Let me check before I close out the show. Oh. Hold on, give me just a sec, y'all. Okay, I did reply. Give me email in the morning. Okay. But anyway, let me get my behind up out of here, man. Yeah, see y'all on Friday. Make sure y'all tune in for that KBK, man. It's gonna be interesting type show. I got some material that we can kind of dive into, kind of sink into. We will be talking about the baseball money, brother of a certain age. So make sure you tune in for that. We're gonna have a conversation about that. Also, some basketball news and an interesting piece I found. And we'll talk about that on Friday. It's gonna lead to a much larger discussion, a discussion we typically don't have on this channel. But make sure y'all tune in for that for sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, brother, listen, I think I gave an idea this for like a show. And I'll kind of point you in the right direction to where you can kind of flesh it out. It was a recent interview done by Jaleel White. Um what's his what was I think it's Jaleel White. Used to play Steve Urkel on Family Matters, but he said in a recent interview he doesn't feel like Family Matters gets the respect when we talk about traditional black sitcoms and the popular black sitcoms. How Family Matters is not typically brought up in that discussion. But it was an interesting clip I saw. I want to say it was on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, check that out. And like I said, I think that would be a dope show. Just talking about black sitcoms for y'all Screen or All show. Because everybody's got their favorites. And you could frame the show as what's the best, or what black sitcom had the most impact on the culture. How about that? I mean, that could be that could be a topic for a great show, and then you can kind of flesh that out in so many different ways. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you could do. I mean, but I'm just giving you an idea, man. That's the idea, and I think that would hold on. Oh, I ain't got no echo, do I? Okay. I think that would help with crowd participation and engagement. Because like I said, everybody's got their favorites. And you like in regards to Jaleel White, you might have somebody out there that actually thinks Family Matters is the best black sitcom. You can make okay, I got you, Eucalyptus. You can have somebody like I could make an argument for Family Matters like this. You had a working class, a real middle class family, where they was dealing with real life challenges of the time. But I mean, you look at the dynamic. Had different family members. It wasn't just a just a typical two-parent household. You had the mother living, his mother living there. And I think the aunt was in and out of. I don't even know if she was living there in it, but you can make the argument like typical working class family. Dad was a cop. Forgot what Harriet was doing, but it wasn't to the lofty standards of the Cosby Show, where you had the doctor and the lawyer. It seemed like more real down to earth type, typical type jobs you might see in middle class America. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just kind of giving my spiel. It ain't my top show, but somebody could make the argument for it. I mean, but it's free material, man. Free material. Good Times was better. I mean, you could say good time. You could say Good Times was better. You have some folks that'll say the Cosby Show. You have some folks that say, hey, A Different World was better. Martin. Depending on the ladies, may say Living Single. You had a accurate depiction of for business minded successful type women who wasn't on that other shit. It wasn't no like portrayed hoe-ish type behavior that you might see in today's modern cable type TV. You can, like I said, you can make one was a business owner, one was a lawyer, one owned a salon, and then you had the cousin. I mean, I'm just saying, like the Jeffersons, black business owner decides, I ain't got to stay in the hood. I'm gonna move on up. I mean, you can make. I should be charging for this consultation, brother, of a certain age. I'm just saying. I mean, but this, you can get active crowd participation just by posing the question to the audience, and then like you and your co-host, y'all go back and forth, with your own personal faves, and then like take suggestions from the chat. I mean, be a live show. like a boxing promotion. I like the idea of doing a sort of pre-show, talk about the next idea to get the minds going. Gato show like listen. I mean it's like that with that you can even do um like you could even have like set up a show to where um you kind of like do like a poll do a poll like between like do like a tournament like pit different shows against each other like between this show and this show which we're gonna do like the black sitcom tournament have 8 shows and you and your co-host kind of talk about this show pick one side. Hey, I'm picking Jefferson's, you picking Good Times, and why your show was better. And then kind of like let the crowd get participation in it. Then kind of how this like the format of kind of like how LV do it. I mean, and then you could flesh it out just off of that show. And then like we're gonna do a finale. The top 2 shows and and kind of go off, why they was so important and blah 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 blah. Kind of. I mean, you can make it damn serious. I mean, I did listen. I mean, the idea, like y'all idea of the screen, I like the idea because you can take that. You could take, like we talking about movies and TV shows, this media that we all kind of grew up on in some form or fashion, and you can go so many directions with it. And like I know, YouTube guys, y'all not just into sitcoms, like y'all into other type shows, like what's the best Law and Order series? It's the original or SVU, you could do like there's so many directions you could take that. You could take that type of a show to where you discussing media that people are looking into. Like I'm going to take some time out this weekend and check out the Jamie Foxx special. Like y'all, there's so much stuff that you guys can review. Like the Giants front office. That's not a show. That's a horror flick. That is a horror flick. I mean, but that is an idea. You can take it for what it's worth, and y'all can get together and collab and expound and expound out on it. And like I said, you could really flesh that out. Because the whole thing, you don't want people to feel too left out of the conversation, especially when we talking about reviewing this and reviewing that. I'm just saying. I'm just I don't listen, man. Yeah, I don't mind sharing ideas and stuff like that, but I think that'd be like a real dope show. Because the first episode of y'all show was dope. I mean, to me it was dope because y'all up there discussing something that I'm very familiar with, the Aaron Hernandez story. But some people was like they wasn't getting it, or they didn't watch the series to even understand what was going on. I'll be damned.
Oh, my bad. I know you're trying to get out.
You good. How the creative juices get to going. You get to talk.
Yeah. This is just on some other shit. I'm so disappointed that you're not, you know what I'm saying, able to like really, really participate in it. Because I feel like I said, you left a lot of, because you're not doing stuff over there, you left a lot of ideas on the just on the cutting, on the chopping block, because you're not doing them yet. As of now, you haven't done them, but
yeah,
see, people that are creative, look, I just dropped a couple of those things to you, and you can just go in so many directions, man. And that's what I'm talking about, though.
Well, I mean, you have the creators and you have the complainers.
Oh no. Oh, oh.
Oh yes, you know what it is. You know what it is. Jive turkey. Watch it, sucker.
How you doing, Dr. Nikki?
I am well, Dots. What's good with you? How dare you have this riffraff on your show, bringing down the quality of your distinguished brand?
Man, listen. He is a long time supporter, and listen, the football talk is over. Like his team sucks, we suck. We kind of in the same boat this year. I ain't gonna kick him in the back too much.
Well,
Oh no, gotta kick him in the back, step on his neck, and you know what I'm saying, crush the nose if he want to stick it out there.
and don't forget, you said we in the +1 because that's me and you +1. And
Oh no, you'll be on that bitch by yourself, okay? You can keep it warm for us, so we might join you, but y'all will definitely be keeping it warm.
Listen, I gotta tell you, I got that Cowboys this song in heavy rotation every time I fire up YouTube. I hear that little thing about Dak not being able to complete a pass, and
y'all still can't win a game, even with you listening to that. See what I'm saying? Poor decisions, drama. I mean, Dots, he can't make good decisions. Poor decisions. You really need to cut a brother from your team, like really.
We come from a place of supreme hypocrisy, so you should expect that.
Okay, supreme hypocrisy. They ain't got nothing to do with y'all's front office.
Oh my God. Listen, but baseball money.
No, we're not talking about that. Stay on task, G-Man. See what I'm saying?
Listen, brother, you're gonna like what I got because it's gonna lead to a listen. When I say I put it together, But we're gonna talk about the money on Friday. I found an interesting clip, and it kind of made me think about not just baseball money, but not just sports money, but money just in general. When we talking about jobs and careers and that kind of stuff. But we'll get into that more on Friday because I think you're gonna like where I'm going with that one.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there Friday. I actually because of some personal stuff, I actually got like this whole week off, so I'll be around for sure. I'm looking.
Listen, you're gonna need more than this week off for your team, so go on ahead and just call in for the rest of the year and start 2025 anew.
Dr. Nikki, you know how they say learning is not just for passing, it's for relationship.
Listen, tell them that.
I'm more in my team about what did they do
at the beginning of the season?
You said 2-11?
At the beginning of the season?
Yeah. Listen, when they signed Ding, I was hopeful, but then let Saquon go. I've been.
You knew what it was. You knew what it was. So.
I'm over it.
Are you really? I don't believe it. Like it sounds good.
No,
just like your front office thought that was a great decision that nobody would pick him up with those stats. But you know what? I will not hold that against you after the season is over. We're gonna ride this out to the end.
This is a classic case of delusional Cowboy fans who
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The deflection, you know what I'm saying? Just like, but look at you. Like I caught you sleeping and you said you just pointed out a car that was illegally parked or something. You just want to deflect. That's all right.
No, because there's nothing you all can do to become America's team. We can't play sorry enough for y'all to take that moniker away from us. So that's all that matters to me.
Man, you lucky I'm not on my page. I would have fired up that Cowboy song right about now. That's gonna be,
and it still won't help your team. So fire it up, put it in heavy rotation, blast it from your cars with 15s in the back. I don't care what you do.
There was a certain time where you just have to go to be a full-fledged hater, and that's where I'm at right now. So
listen, and it still won't help your team. It won't help your team for generations to come.
But the good thing about it is that
there's no good thing.
When I look over to my left shoulder, I see Dak. When I look over to my right shoulder, I see Ezekiel.
You see the rest of your team.
I see Ezekiel.
You see the rest of your team.
I say, welcome to the party, fellas. We all here together.
Oh,
Yeah,
stop it.
we bring the beer. Don't worry about it. We'll be there a little later, but we'll be there.
Thank you. See what I'm saying? We're gonna make an entrance. They're gonna already be there.
This is just, drama. This is biased. I don't even like the way you running your panels. This is some biased shit.
It's a violation of YouTube.
Yeah, bully. This is bullying. This is
Cyber stalking, gang stalking, all of that. I mean, well, you violate our privacy because I don't know, you talking like you inside the team. I think I'm offended by that.
well. Listen, part of being a hater, part of being a true hater is you need to know your opponent.
There you go. Tell us how you really feel.
Thank you. Tell us how you really feel.
Well, listen. I'm not the only person that's of a certain age here. I'm not saying anything about anybody's age. I'm just saying, you guys. I had to watch them Eagles teams with Jerome Brown and Reggie White and all those guys. Like, I had to study those teams because they used to beat up on us. And even when the Giants were good, them division games with the Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, and the Cardinals back in the day. So a lot of people probably don't remember the Cardinals.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Nobody on the Giants franchise remember those good old days because they didn't have any. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, I just know that bum ass Eli won more than great Troy Aikman.
No, Troy got 3.
I'm sorry, I meant to say the other.
Thank you. Look, see how you backed him on up. I meant to say, do you know your own team stats?
No. I meant to say the guy that's on the other guy that's on TV. You know who I'm talking about. He right before that.
Romo.
The great.
But that ain't what you said. We can only go by what you said.
This conversation is sponsored by Tito's. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, okay, sponsored by Tito's. What you been with your gluten-free vodka? Yeah, see, that's what's wrong with y'all. Gluten-free is nasty.
Well, listen, if you got a suggestion, I'll take a sip.
Yeah.
You might want to get on that Kettle One. If you're on that vodka, you might want to get on that Kettle One. That gluten-free stuff will have you burping.
Okay.
I just can't do vodka. I'm sorry. Nothing right.
What you on? You on bourbon?
Man, I'm on yak.
Oh,
Man, I did that when I was young in the clubs. I was like, nah, I can't do that no more.
Man. I got a 3-day recovery now, and I can't do that.
Not a 3-day recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can't just get like straight Hennessy. You got to get something that's a little bit smooth. I just can't. Vodka and tequila. That was my younger days. I can't fuck with the white, man. I need something to mellow me out. And Brown does that for me. I like a good bourbon.
Okay. But the thing with me is, like, I'm measuring out. Like, I go.
What about a whiskey?
Whiskey, I don't like the taste of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just don't like the taste. Bourbon is pushing it for me, but I like give me a good yak, good cognac. Hennessy is the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Beautiful guy.
See, me and a brother of a certain age, we're probably counting calories at our age. So we got to go with the white.
Calories, carbs.
Thank you. So we concerned about a different set of stats.
When you go to the doctor, you're like I had a stomach ache. You got a list of everything you ate that day. Like,
thank you.
Everything. Yeah, no, we on the same page with that.
Yeah.
No, Doc's got a few more years before he's where we're at. So he'll be listen, there's always room on the white wagon. Okay. We'll keep the light on for you.
I just can't do it though. I just my spirit won't let me do it. It's that that inner Negro in me just won't let me. I got some at the house, but it's like that's like for company. That ain't for me.
I feel you, but I can't do the dark, man. Y'all,
you gotta sip it. You can't, give me mine straight, no chaser. I don't need.
I'll take it on the rocks.
I don't need a lot.
Right.
For a couple sips. I ain't like taking half a cup. I just need like a couple sips, just to, to wet the
take
palate.
the edge off.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I still you still at that age where you can still get away with it. I can't get away with it anymore.
Well, listen, it's right around the corner for me now. I ain't that far behind, but
We'll keep the light on for you. Yeah, we'll keep the light on for you. Be like, "Ooh, I didn't know I could. That liquor could be so smooth."
I'm starting to count calories and all. It's like your metabolism slow down. Like, I can't eat like I want to. So
Bruh, it's
yeah,
everything, man. It's everything. The doctor's like, watch out for this. Come and take a test for that. We found a little something in your blood with this. And it's like, and it hasn't turned out. Luckily, it hasn't turned out to be anything. But I remember it was like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. They kept having me come back and give more blood, and I'm saying, man, couldn't y'all test everything y'all needed to test that first time? Now I'm back getting poked and
Now
prodded.
that was an insurance scam right there. They was like, "Oh, you got insurance? We're gonna test you for everything.
Yes.
Come back with get your copay."
And it was a copay.
Trust
Now that I think
Trust
about
me, if you didn't have insurance, they would have called you back in after the first test and be like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever. They got to die at some point."
Yeah, they would just send me home and say, "You good, bro? You good."
Exactly. He was like, "Oh, see you at the next annual."
Well, why I got you up here, brother? When is the next episode of y'all show, man?
Oh, we going Saturday. Saturday.
Okay.
We was trying to figure out, like, because they were supposed to do that. Supposed to do that battle with Pills and
Bye, beautiful.
Well, she tried to clown me. Okay. But yeah. So Saturday. Yeah, I mean,
Saturday 9:00, and then we are I think it's Speak No Evil. Beautiful. I believe Beautiful suggested it to Slander, so we're gonna look at that. But I like the idea what you were saying.
Yeah.
With the sitcoms, like that's what I'm talking about. Like I want to. I think me. I've been vocal about, like, we should be going back and forth with these ideas, and even if you don't do it, like, yo, giving me an alley-oop, like, yo, listen, here's something that you might,
No, listen. Listen. Like I say frequently, man. I'm active, but I'm not active, and I see avenues for people to kind of do stuff that I just ain't really got the time to invest in right now like that. But I think that'll be a dope idea, just for you to, and we're talking about different TV shows, different preferences and likes, but then you talking about the age gap between you two. That plays a part, and that's the whole nother part of the conversation piece. So
see, that's what
and the apathy.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, so many, because y'all, I can see the direction that y'all was going in. I can see the direction y'all was going in, and I know there's so much shit that's just like sitting there right in at the tip.
I mean, and it's like, yeah, we collab like throughout the week. Like, this is what we're gonna be talking about, and that was just us doing current topics. Like, you talking about doing a show like what you guys got, taking suggestions from the crowd, and and y'all could, I see, just the creative side of me. I can see ways to kind of flesh it out. Like, okay, we're gonna review Speak No Evil, and like Beautiful said, they changed the ending from the original. Okay, so what does that make the new one better? Does that make the original? But there's so many ways you can kind of, and that's like come out. My mind kind of works with the shit, so I don't mind giving out ideas and all of that. I don't mind at all. I think that would be dope, and I know crowd participation to be off the chains, because you're gonna have that generation that grew up on the Good Times and the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
And, you're gonna have it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things when I did the Halloween show. Slander was like, could we get to something this decade? We because we was talking about the stuff from our childhood, and he was like, and they had it reminded me, like, yeah, where I might have some ideas of what I want to talk about, but you also got to make sure that you keep the audience engaged. That's why I was saying I like the idea of doing kind of like a pre-show before the show, a couple of days before, just something to get people thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, like an easy way I would do it. If you're gonna go that way with some of the material, I would say do like a poll. Like have like the source material. Okay. have like the source material for like this is what we're gonna be discussing, but then like present it to the people to where do you think the like let's say beautiful and I meant to say eucalyptus put it out there, but I was looking at beautiful comment, but talking about the change, and do you think the original was better than the new one? And it's like just do a simple poll. You'll get participation on that, and you kind of see what's what. I'm sure some people will comment, and that'll kind of give you a starting point for the conversation piece. To kind of start at the show. Like, yeah, before we get into the review, I just want to kind of read off the the poll and some of the comments y'all left, and kind of get into it, and then like, okay, let's get into the movie.
Right. Included, definitely. I think like when people leave comments and stuff like that, and you include them into the show, I think people appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
So that's like so fuck, man.
But you can also use other sources like Reddit to see if they have conversations going on. Look at a Twitter space to see if they're talking about it, and look at some of the film reviews. As you're looking at film, especially if they have a reboot of something, to see what they said then and what they're saying now. So those things help too, because I know for me, I don't enjoy going out to watch movies. I am accustomed to watching them in the privacy of my own home, because I really don't want to hear or share my movie experience with other people and the noise and all the other stuff around it. Wow. So it just changes how I view film and, my commentary on it, from a film study stance, as well as, just from a consumer. I don't enjoy that anymore. I don't.
Well, I'm the opposite, because I like to be in the theater. I like the whole, like, I want to go see Gladiator 2. Like, for me, it's something, of course I like to get my VIP seats, and all that.
Your red carpet treatment. Yeah, you real bougie. you real bougie with it.
But I
Mr.
like
opening night. That's so cute.
I just like to have the the ambiance, and like I don't even read the reviews. I'll see a preview, like, and that's how we me and the missus, we kind of judge if we're gonna go see that or not. Like, we'll watch the preview. Like, it caught my attention. We'll check it out. But I watching it at home, I find my attention spans a little bit shorter. Because I'm in the comfort of my home, so I'm pretty much kicked up on the sofa. Hell, I might fall asleep during the movie, but I know when I'm in the theater, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm just different.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, I used to enjoy it that way, but it's like I really, I don't want to hear other people talking. I don't want to do any of that, because when I spend my coins, I want an experience catered to me.
Well, do like I do. I go listen. I like to go at non-prime times. If I go to the theater, I like to go non-prime, like first show of the day. Like, I'm that. I don't want to go 7-8 o'clock. That means like it's gonna be more people in there, more people talking. I want to be able to concentrate on the movie and enjoy the experience. Hell, that's me. I like to come out when the sun is still up, and I can enjoy the rest of my day.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'm more with Dr. Nikki. I can't, for different reasons. Like, when I go to the movies, I'm like looking at the exits, I'm watching people moving. My mind is on other stuff, and it's like I can't be in a crowded movie theater.
Well, maybe if y'all sit more brown, y'all won't have that problem. I'm just saying.
Oh, stop it. I'm not paranoid. I'm not paranoid like G-Man over here. I'm just talking about just the experience. Like, I would love to be able to sit in the movie theater, like in the middle of the movie theater, and watch it by myself. So it's not that. I don't want to share the experience with other people. Like, I don't like all of that. Like, I don't like the loud kids. I don't like the boyfriend and girlfriend who want to, be on the phone like, I don't like any of that stuff. To me, all that stuff is rude. So in order to avoid that, I'll just watch it at home where I got surround sound, speakers and all that other stuff. You would think I was in the theater.
Sounds
my
like
favorite comfortable chair, whole nine.
Sounds like a traumatized Cowboy fans, but good. I'm sorry.
It might be because I'm telling you, every time we went against the Giants, I'm telling you, changes up the dynamic in my household.
So you go. So instead of going 0-17, you go 2-15.
Hey, you know,
And I'll take it. That's a winning season for me. See, I'm not like Dots when it comes to that. As long as we beat certain teams, I'm good for the year. You know what I'm saying? I could dust my jersey off and put it back on another year, but not him. He was like, yeah, we ain't got a ring. We didn't do well. You know, I don't see it like that. It's certain teams that are a must win, and the G-men are one of them.
Oh, man, I knew I shouldn't have come up here.
No,
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Good. You good, brother. You good. Yeah.
See, you even see stars behind you. That's why he's so comfortable up here. It's like either you're going to see stars or you're going to be a star. I choose to be a star.
That's my quarterback. Don't talk about my quarterback.
Okay. Let me see if I can make him a little bit more comfortable. Let me see if I have.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He got to earn that.
If
I try to make him leave on a happy note.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better go get Happy Life. Say, ooh wee. Y'all better go get them. And then, look, me and brother trying to have our own, you know, public banter. You know, you want to interrupt and put yourself into it. I'm like, boy, if you don't go play in traffic or something, shit, like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Fortunately for me, I've been able to watch you get on these panels and see what you do. So I know enough to,
you know enough to do what?
I'm poking the bear or when I'm just having fun. And I never try to poke the bear. That's all I'm saying.
No, he said, I get a jab in, I keep it moving.
And, I'm on my Floyd Mayweather. I'm on defense for the rest of the thing. I'm not trying to.
Right, but brother, as long as you witness that I asked him to leave me alone and he kept going, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's like everywhere I go in my life, if I got on a Dallas Cowboys now year, it's already an argument that I never start, but I will end it.
Listen, to be fair, let me just I don't know, to give a little like when I was a kid, Drew Pearson was my favorite player.
Oh goddamn, how long ago was that?
Tony Dorsett and Drew Pearson and Danny White and
what happened? Then what happened?
Yeah, my pops was a Giants fan, to be honest with you. My pops was a Giants
fan. Y'all got a legacy of bad decisions. Okay.
Yeah, but listen, I could go into that. That's you don't even know what kind of can you open up on that, but I'll leave that when I'm being transparent on my channel. I'll leave that for that.
Okay, transparency.
But yeah, I used to be, but because they was on TV. Well, no, that was, and I used to hate Mean Joe Green because he used to be the Steelers and they used to be up against the Cowboys. Yeah, I went through all of it. And don't act like y'all ain't the same age as me, so stop it.
I'm just saying.
I know I am, but I'm just saying, like we thought you were gonna talk about a couple seasons ago, like at least during the tenure of Dot's show, not when we were all walking around in cloth diapers.
You started out so well, sir. And it went down.
But back then the major teams got on network TV. Remember, we didn't have the luxury of all this stuff that you couldn't watch your team. The Cowboys came on the TV and they had all the commercials. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Who else was it? Like when you think about it, who else was on TV?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Well, cable really changed the game.
Yeah,
NFL ticket and all that. It really changed the game because
you knew about Mean Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris. You knew about what's the dude with the no teeth in his mouth? Was it Lambert?
You talking about LT?
No.
No. When crack was more than whack.
There was a difference. He couldn't feel the fact that he couldn't tell his teeth was in his mouth because he was so high. That's the difference in not having teeth. But
okay.
That's a whole different thing. Imagine doing sniffing some coke and coming in and then sacking Danny White or who else was over there? Who else was over there? Who else was a quarterback back then? Oh,
I
he's
you know that you know I would have to look at the archives on that.
You Starbuck?
Nah,
Starbuck?
I have to start.
Yeah, Buck. It don't matter. We was beating them.
Yeah, all right. Well, at least at least we are connecting on the football level, and you guys can see I'm not a true hater. I actually like the Cowboys.
No, you are a vintage hater, and that's why I'm here to call you out. That's why I came up here. I'm not letting you get away with your hating in sheep's. You know what I'm saying? No, no.
I don't have any cut-ins or anything for it because this is a dot show, so I don't have nothing. So much stuff.
Yeah. You're gonna have to say that for your sake, and I won't be responsible for what happens to you when you pull that stunt.
Listen, I ain't fucking with. I'm not fucking with. I'm only going so far. I look at that line and then I take a step back. There will not be no crossing of the line. That's not gonna happen.
But see, you have permission to take it there. He does not. It's like, don't talk to me at all.
But I would only do it here because this is not mess. This is not a mess. This is just more corporate. I would not do it in a space where there's a chance that you would be able to. What's the word? Eviscerate. Eviscerate comes to mind. I wouldn't do it in a space where you would be able to do that.
I would never eviscerate you. Your team does it to you every time they play. I would at least spare you.
You see, this just shot after shot after shot.
I mean, but that's the truth. Like, I really want you to take it up with your team.
You ain't got no.
Listen, this has been one of those seasons for me. I'm in the fog, my damn self.
For sure, but I'm gonna still fight for my team.
Do you remember in The Godfather where the guy looked at him like, "Hey, is there anything you can do for me? Is there anything you can do for me, Doc?"
All right. I mean, about the only thing I can say is, it's been a pleasure. I need to wrap up the show. That's not the only thing I can do to save you, man. Is start pulling for the trap though. That's about the only thing I can do to say. Hey, your team is your team has done enough to you, brother. Your team has done enough to you.
I'll write a Dear John letter for you and humbly submit a request that they do better.
I really appreciate you, Drama, for that. And
because the Cowboys at least need some competition against y'all.
We can't. The one thing that neither of us can talk about is competition when it comes to.
Oh no, because as long as we beat y'all, I can still run my mouth. I sure can.
Listen, brother, just slide it into your show. Just slide it like a commercial break. Just slide it. I'm trying to help you out here. Just slide it into your show. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you can hear me though. You might be breaking up, but you hear me loud and clear. In 4K.
He just dropped that. But I appreciate you coming up, brother.
The first good decision from a G-man. See what I'm saying? There's hope.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming up, brother of a certain age. Any final words, man, before we close the Dawn Night show? But make sure y'all tune in Friday. KVK, trust me. It's gonna be some pretty good material.
How about them Cowboys?
I can't even get excited this season.
You don't have to, but it's still, how about them Cowboys? That's why you got me. How about them Cowboys?
All right. Appreciate you coming up as always. I'll end you off with part of my new phrase: what they hate in you ain't in them.
Okay.
I love that little quote because it's you know.
Exactly. And those who don't, just sit back and learn from those who do.
I'm telling you, and, brother of a certain age, like we were saying earlier, man, you have the creators and you have the complainers. And it's easy to see who's who. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. As always, enjoy off the phrase that pays. I'm tired of looking at Prime in the background. I need something. This for you, brother. This for you.
Wind blown and all.
End you off with the phrase that pays around here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.